Sometimes, the strongest feelings aren't shouted from rooftops. They are whispered in the small, quiet ways a man behaves when he's around you. Love, especially in its early stages, often hides in plain sight, woven into gestures so subtle you might miss them if you're not paying attention. A man who's falling for you but isn't ready, or doesn't know how to say it outright, will often reveal himself in actions, not words. It might be the way he suddenly appears in places where you are, finding harmless excuses to spend more time near you. These moments may seem coincidental, but they are often intentional, born from a quiet pull he can't ignore. You'll notice how he remembers small details you've shared, even things you've mentioned only once, bringing them up later in ways that make you feel seen. His body language changes, too, more open, more relaxed, almost as if his posture is leaning into you without him realizing it. He might mirror your movements without thought, sipping his drink after you do, or tilting his head the same way you just did. And then there's the teasing, playful, light, and never cruel, a safe disguise for affection, wrapped in humor. Sometimes, his feelings slip into the gentlest forms of contact, a hand on your back as you walk through a door, a light brush against your arm in conversation, each touch fleeting but deliberate. You'll see it in the way he listens, not just hearing the words, but locking in on them, asking follow-up questions that prove he's not only paying attention but also cares about the answer. He'll notice changes in your appearance, a new hairstyle, a different shade of lipstick, and comment in a way that feels genuine, not rehearsed. Around you, he becomes slightly protective, stepping to your side in a crowd, making sure you're safe, checking in without making it a big deal. If you need help, he's there before you even have to ask. His responses are quick, instinctive, as if helping you is second nature. Conversations linger longer than they need to. He'll find reasons to keep talking, stretching each moment. His eyes hold yours a little longer, speaking things his voice doesn't dare to. He goes out of his way to make you smile, recalling your favorite jokes, songs, or little treats. And yes, he remembers your favorites, from coffee orders to the kind of flowers you love. And every so often, the mask slips. You see the nervous laugh, the slight hesitation, the softest side that emerges when you're near. These are not accidents. They're the quiet footprints of a heart slowly moving toward you. And if you notice more than a few of these signs, there's a good chance his feelings run deeper than his letting on. Because sometimes, love isn't announced. It's revealed in the silent, almost invisible ways someone chooses you, over and over again, without ever saying a word. If you'd like, I can also make a shorter, higher-attention version of this intro optimized for YouTube narration so viewers stay hooked past the first 10 seconds. Would you like me to prepare that? 1. He finds excuses to be around you. He finds excuses to be around you, even if those moments seem small or unplanned. It's not always about big, romantic gestures. Sometimes it's the little, everyday interactions that reveal how someone truly feels. When a man is falling for you, but is trying to hide it, he will naturally gravitate toward you without making it obvious. Maybe he suddenly remembers he forgot something in the room you're in, or he volunteers to help with something you didn't even ask for. These moments may seem casual, but they are often his way of creating opportunities to spend time near you. You might notice him appearing at the same places you frequent, like the coffee shop, the break room, or a spot you both like to sit. It could feel like coincidence at first, but over time, it becomes clear he's making a conscious effort. He might ask harmless questions just to keep a conversation going, or join in on activities you're doing, even if they're not particularly interesting to him. It's not about the activity itself. It's about sharing space with you. When you're in a group, he often positions himself close to you without drawing attention to it. He might choose the seat beside you or stand where he can easily interact with you. If someone else tries to get your attention, you might see him quietly waiting for the moment he can join the exchange again. This subtle persistence is a sign that your presence matters to him more than is willing to admit. His reasons for being around you often sound casual, offering to help carry something, checking if you need anything, or just dropping by to say a quick hello. But underneath, it's about feeling connected to you. He might not be ready to put his emotions into words, but his actions are already speaking for him. When someone repeatedly seeks these small opportunities to be close, it's rarely by accident. It's a quiet, almost unspoken way of saying, I enjoy your presence. I want to be part of your moments. Even without a confession, his behavior reveals a growing attachment, one that's impossible to hide for long when his heart keeps pulling him toward you. 2. He remembers small details about you. He remembers small details about you, the kind of things most people might overlook or forget. It's not just about recalling your birthday or favorite color. It's the way he stores little fragments of your conversations and brings them back at unexpected moments. Maybe you once mentioned you like a specific kind of tea, and weeks later, he shows up with it without you reminding him. Or perhaps you talk briefly about a book you wanted to read, and the next time you meet, he asks if you've gotten a chance to start it. When a man is falling for you, his mind naturally holds on to the pieces of you that stand out, your preferences, your quirks, the way you light up when you talk about certain topics. Even if he's trying to hide his feelings, this habit slips through. It's not rehearsed or calculated. It comes from genuine interest. He pays attention because he wants to, not because he has to. You might notice him recalling things you only mentioned once, like the name of your childhood pet, the kind of music you play when you're in a good mood, or the way you take your coffee. These small details can seem insignificant to others, but to him, they are part of the picture he's painting of you in his mind. It's his way of keeping a connection alive, even in subtle ways. Sometimes he'll weave these details into your conversations, making you realize he's been listening more closely than you thought. He may bring up something you said in passing during a tough day to show his thinking about you, or he'll avoid something you dislike because he remembered you mentioning it once. This kind of attention doesn't come from casual friendship. It's rooted in care and emotional investment. Remembering small details means he values your words and experiences enough to carry them with him. Even if he never says outright, I like you, these moments reveal more than a direct confession could. They show you're not just another person in his life. You're someone whose thoughts and feelings matter enough to stay with him long after the conversation ends. 3. His body language opens up when you're near. His body language opens up when you're near, revealing feelings he might never put into words. The shift can be subtle, but it's powerful, a natural response that happens without him even realizing it. When someone is falling for you, their body instinctively moves into a more open, welcoming posture. You might notice he turns his shoulders fully toward you, leans in slightly when you speak, or keeps his arms uncrossed as if inviting connection. His face softens in your presence. His eyes might light up the moment he sees you, and a genuine smile appears, the kind that reaches all the way to his eyes. This isn't just politeness. It's an involuntary reaction to someone who makes him feel good. When you're talking, he may tilt his head slightly, showing attentiveness, or mirror your movements without realizing it, a sign of subconscious alignment. Even the way he positions his feet can tell you something. They often point toward the person he's most interested in. If you're in a group, his body might naturally angle toward you, keeping you in his main line of attention. He may also find ways to reduce physical barriers between you, like moving an object aside or stepping closer when he speaks. Sometimes the openness shows in the little things, maintaining eye contact longer than usual, relaxing his hands when you're near, or subtly leaning closer as if drawn in by gravity. These actions communicate comfort, interest, and trust, emotions that are hard to fake consistently. You might also notice his energy shift. Around others, he may appear reserved or controlled, but when you enter the space, he becomes more animated, his gestures more expressive, his tone warmer. It's as if your presence unlocks a version of himself that he doesn't share with everyone else. Body language doesn't lie. Even if he tries to mask his emotions with words, his posture, facial expressions, and physical orientation toward you can reveal the truth. An open stance, relaxed movements, and an eagerness to face you are all silent signals that is drawn to you, and that his heart is already leaning in your direction, whether he admits it or not. 4. He mirrors your movements unconsciously. He mirrors your movements unconsciously, a subtle yet powerful sign that he feels connected to you on a deeper level. This isn't something he does intentionally. It's a natural psychological response when someone is drawn to another person. You might notice that when you take a sip of your drink, he does the same shortly after. If you lean on the table with one arm, he might copy that posture without realizing it. These small reflections of your actions are signs his mind and body are tuned into yours. Mirroring often happens because he's paying close attention to you and wants to establish rapport, even if he's not consciously aware of it. It's his body's way of saying, "I'm in sync with you." This can extend beyond simple movements. It might show in the way he matches your speaking pace, your tone, or even the expressions you use during a conversation. In group settings, this becomes even more noticeable. While others may have their own body language, his tends to align with yours. If you shift positions, he might adjust in a similar way. If you smile, he smiles right back, almost instantly. It's as if his subconscious is quietly following your lead, keeping that invisible thread of connection alive. You may also catch him mirroring your energy levels. If you're feeling calm and relaxed, he slows down too. If you're excited and animated, he naturally becomes more expressive. This isn't about imitation. It's about emotional attunement, the silent rhythm that forms when two people feel close. What makes this sign so revealing is that it's nearly impossible to fake for long. A person can pretend interest with words, but unconscious mirroring slips out in genuine moments. It shows he's fully engaged, not just in what you're saying, but in who you are. When someone mirrors you in this quiet, unintentional way, it's a strong indicator that they're invested in the interaction. For a man falling for you, it's his body's natural way of bridging the gap between you, sending the message, "I'm with you. I'm connected to you," without ever having to speak those words aloud. 5. He teases you in a playful way. He teases you in a playful way, not to hurt your feelings, but to create a light-hearted connection that only the two of you share. This kind of teasing isn't sharp or mean-spirited. It's gentle, filled with warmth, and often comes with a smile or a glint in his eyes. When a man is falling for you, playful teasing becomes his way of breaking down walls and inviting you into a space where he can be himself. You might notice he makes fun of small, harmless things, the way you always order the same coffee, how you're obsessed with a certain TV show, or the little habits that make you unique. The teasing is never cruel. Instead, it's laced with admiration, as if he's saying, "I notice you, and I like these things about you." It's an easy, safe way for him to show affection without laying all his feelings bare. Playful teasing often works as a bridge between friendship and romance. It builds familiarity, keeps conversations lively, and gives him an excuse to interact with you more often. Sometimes he'll throw in a joking comment just to see your reaction, maybe to hear you laugh, maybe to watch you playfully fire back. Either way, the banter becomes its own kind of shared language. This teasing can also be a way for him to test boundaries, to see how comfortable you are with him and whether you'll join in the fun. If you respond with the same playful energy, it reassures him that you enjoy the interaction, and it encourages him to keep the connection going. In group settings, his teasing might be aimed at you more than anyone else, and you might notice he's extra quick to defend you if someone else crosses a line. This shows that beneath the joking exterior, there's genuine care and protectiveness. At its heart, playful teasing is about closeness. It's his way of telling you, "I feel at ease with you, and I want us to share moments that are just ours." For someone who's falling for you but not ready to say it outright, these light-hearted exchanges become a safe, charming way to let you know you hold a special place in his world. 6. He makes subtle physical contact. He makes subtle physical contact, the kind that feels natural and unforced, yet lingers just long enough for you to notice. It's not about grand gestures or obvious moves. It's about those small, seemingly casual touches that carry more meaning than they appear to. When a man is falling for you but trying to keep his feelings under wraps, these light moments of contact often become his silent language. Maybe he lightly brushes your arm when he's making a point, lets his hand rest on your back as you walk through a doorway, or playfully bumps shoulders with you when joking around. These touches are never pushy or intrusive. They are respectful, gentle, and timed in a way that makes them feel part of the moment. But underneath, They're his way of feeling connected to you physically, even if only for a second. You might notice he uses excuses to make contact, handing you something and letting your fingers briefly touch, helping you adjust something on your outfit, or leaning in close when showing you something on his phone. To anyone else, it might look completely normal, but for him, it's deliberate in the most subtle way. These moments also reveal his comfort level with you. Physical contact requires a certain degree of trust and closeness, and when it happens naturally, it's a sign he feels safe expressing his affection in nonverbal ways. Often, you'll see these gestures accompanied by a smile, a softer tone of voice, or an unspoken warmth in his eyes. Even in group settings, you might notice he finds ways to bridge the physical gap between you. Sitting close enough that your knees almost touch, leaning toward you when you speak, or standing just a little nearer than he needs to. It's his body's quiet way of saying, "I want to be close to you," without forcing the moment. Subtle contact like this might seem small, but it's deeply telling. It's not about the touch itself. It's about the intention behind it, the quiet desire to connect, to feel that spark, even in a way so understated that only the two of you truly notice. 7. He listens closely and asks follow-up questions. He listens closely and asks follow-up questions, showing that your words aren't just passing sounds to him. They matter. When a man is falling for you, his attention naturally sharpens whenever you speak. He's not just waiting for his turn to talk. He's absorbing what you say, holding onto the details, and circling back to them later because he genuinely cares. You might notice how his eyes stay on you while you're talking, his body angled toward you, and his phone tucked away or ignored. He nods at the right moments, gives small verbal cues to let you know he's following along. And when you finish, he doesn't just respond with a generic answer. He digs deeper. If you mention you're tired because of work, he might ask what's been keeping you busy. If you talk about a trip you took, he'll want to know your favorite part. These follow-up questions are more than polite conversation. They're his way of saying, "I'm invested in what you're sharing." He might even bring up something you told him weeks ago, proving he remembers and still values it. For example, if you once mentioned a project you were nervous about, he might ask how it turned out, showing that he's been thinking about it since. This kind of listening takes effort, and it's not something people do for just anyone. It's an emotional investment, a quiet form of care that builds connection without needing grand declarations. You can feel it in the way he responds, thoughtful, specific, and tuned into your emotions as much as your words. Even in group conversations, you might notice him turning to you for your opinion or circling back to something you said earlier. It's a way of keeping you engaged and showing that your perspective holds weight for him. When a man listens closely and asks follow-up questions, it's a sign he's not just hearing you, he's learning you. Every detail you share becomes another piece of the puzzle he's eager to understand, because deep down, he's already picturing you as someone who matters in his life. 8. He notices changes in your appearance. He notices changes in your appearance, even the small ones that others might overlook. When a man is falling for you, he pays closer attention to the way you present yourself, not out of judgment, but because he's genuinely drawn to you and curious about the little things that make you, you. This kind of awareness often happens naturally. His eyes simply catch the details because you're already on his mind. You might change your hairstyle slightly, wear a new shade of lipstick, or switch up your clothing style. And before you've even had a chance to point it out, he's already commenting. It doesn't have to be a big transformation. Sometimes it's as simple as noticing that you wore your hair differently today or that you've chosen a new pair of earrings. Even subtle differences stand out to him because he's tuned in. Often, these observations are wrapped in compliments, gentle and sincere. "That color really suits you." Or "You did something different with your hair, didn't you?" He doesn't just see you, he registers you, and he wants you to know he noticed. This attentiveness can also extend to mood changes that reflect in your appearance. Maybe you've dressed more casually because you're tired, or you've added extra touches because you're in a great mood. In group settings, his awareness might be even more obvious. While others are caught up in the conversation, he's the one who catches the fact that you switched from your usual sneakers to heels, or that you're wearing a necklace you don't normally wear. It's not about materialism, it's about recognition. When a man notices changes in your appearance consistently, it's because he's observing you with a level of interest and care that goes beyond casual attention. It's his quiet way of showing that you matter enough for him to track these details, to store them, and to let you know that he sees you, not just as part of the crowd, but as someone who stands out to him every single time you walk into the room. 9. He gets slightly protective around you. He gets slightly protective around you, often in ways that feel natural rather than overbearing. When a man is falling for you, his instinct to ensure your comfort and safety becomes more noticeable. It's not about controlling where you go or what you do. It's about small, consistent gestures that show he's looking out for you without making a big show of it. You might see it when you're walking together and he subtly moves to the side closest to the traffic, as if shielding you. If you're in a crowded place, he may guide you through by placing a gentle hand on your back or positioning himself so you don't get bumped. Even in conversations, he might step in if someone is making you uncomfortable, redirecting the interaction so you feel at ease again. This protectiveness can also show up in simple questions, like asking if you got home safely after an event or reminding you to bring a jacket when the weather's cold. He might scan a room when you arrive somewhere together, just making sure the space feels safe for you. Sometimes, it's even in the way he slows his pace so you can walk comfortably or offers to carry something heavy without hesitation. Even if he's trying to hide his feelings, these little acts slip through because they are instinctive. They come from a place of care, of wanting to make sure nothing bothers you when he's around. He may not say, "I'm looking out for you," but his actions say it for him. What makes this sign stand out is that it's subtle. He's not trying to prove anything to others, and is not doing it for recognition. His attention is on you, making sure you feel secure, comfortable, and valued. It's a quiet form of affection, a way of saying, "I'm here for you," without speaking the words. And when a man consistently shows that kind of gentle protectiveness, it's often because his feelings for you run far deeper than he's ready to admit. 10. He reacts quickly when you need help. He reacts quickly when you need help, as if his first instinct is to be there for you. When a man is falling for you, he doesn't hesitate or weigh his options. He just acts. Whether it's something small, like handing you a pen when you're looking for one, or something bigger, like offering to drive you home when it's late, his willingness to step in is almost immediate. It's not about being a hero. It's about wanting to make your life easier whenever he can. You might notice this in everyday situations. If you drop something, he's the first to pick it up. If you mention you're having trouble with something, he's already suggesting solutions or offering to take care of it. Even when it's outside his comfort zone, he'll figure out a way to help, because your well-being matters more to him than the inconvenience. In group settings, his quick reactions stand out even more. While others may hesitate or look around to see who will step up, he's already moving. If you seem lost, confused, or in need of something, he'll notice before you even ask. This kind of attentiveness doesn't happen by accident. It's fueled by the quiet care he feels for you. His help isn't always dramatic or loud. Sometimes it's as simple as passing you a tissue when you sneeze or offering his jacket when you look cold. The point is, he's tuned into you, noticing the little moments that others might overlook. And when he notices, he acts fast. This responsiveness is a subtle but powerful sign of emotional investment. He's not helping out of obligation or to gain credit. He's doing it because he wants to be someone you can rely on. Even if he tries to hide how much he cares, his actions in these moments give him away. A man who consistently shows up for you without hesitation is a man whose feelings are already far deeper than his letting on. 11. He lingers in conversations with you. He lingers in conversations with you, stretching moments just to keep the connection alive a little longer. When a man is falling for you, talking to you becomes more than just an exchange of words. It's an experience he doesn't want to end. Even if the topic is ordinary or the setting is casual, he'll find ways to slow the pace, ask one more question, or add another comment so the interaction continues. You might notice he's in no rush to walk away, even when it would be easy to. If you're chatting after work, he'll stay a few extra minutes before heading out. If you're in a group, he might wait until everyone else drifts away so the two of you can talk alone. Sometimes, you'll see him circling back to something you said earlier, using it as a way to restart the flow of conversation. This lingering often comes with subtle signs, leaning in slightly, maintaining eye contact, and smiling more than usual. His body language says he's engaged and present, as if nothing else is demanding his attention in that moment. Even pauses feel comfortable, because he's not in a hurry to fill the silence or wrap things up. He may also shift topics gradually rather than abruptly, so the conversation feels like a natural flow instead of a checklist. For example, if you finish discussing one subject, he might smoothly segue into something related, keeping you talking without it feeling forced. These lingering moments are less about the words themselves and more about the feeling of being connected to you. Every extra minute spent in your presence is another chance for him to enjoy your energy, hear your voice, and watch your expressions. When a man consistently finds ways to prolong conversations with you, it's rarely accidental. It's his way of savoring the time you share, making sure he leaves with just a little more than he had before. Even if he never says it outright, his choice to linger is a quiet confession that your presence is something he's reluctant to let go of. 12. He maintains strong eye contact. He maintains strong eye contact, holding your gaze in a way that feels both intentional and unspoken. When a man is falling for you, his eyes often become the first place his feelings slip through. It's not just the quick glances or polite attention most people give. It's the steady, focused kind that makes you feel like you're the only person in the room. You might notice that when you speak, his eyes don't wander around the space or drift to his phone. Instead, they stay on you, following your expressions and reactions closely. Even during moments of silence, he keeps looking, as if he's studying you, memorizing the details of your face. This isn't about making you uncomfortable. It's about his genuine interest in you, a quiet pull he can't seem to hide. Strong eye contact is often paired with subtle signs of warmth, like a faint smile, softened eyebrows, or a slight tilt of the head. If he's feeling shy, he might break eye contact for a moment, then quickly return to it, almost like he's drawn back without meaning to. In group settings, you may catch him watching you from across the room, and when your eyes meet, he doesn't look away immediately. There's a depth in this kind of gaze that goes beyond politeness. It creates a sense of intimacy, even in public. His eyes might brighten when you laugh or linger a second too long after you've finished speaking. These moments become small threads of connection, carrying more weight than casual words ever could. Maintaining strong eye contact is risky for someone trying to hide their feelings, because it's one of the hardest things to control. It often reveals more than he intends: admiration, curiosity, and a desire to be closer to you. When a man's gaze stays locked on yours, not out of habit but out of choice, it's a clear sign he's deeply engaged. He's not just hearing you, he's absorbing you, moment by moment, with his eyes saying the things he's not yet ready to put into words. 13. He goes out of his way to make you smile. He goes out of his way to make you smile, as if your happiness has quietly become one of his personal priorities. When a man is falling for you, your smile becomes something he wants to see as often as possible, not for attention or credit, but because it genuinely brings him joy. Even if he's trying to keep his feelings under wraps, this instinct slips through in small, consistent ways. You might notice he remembers the things that make you laugh and works them into conversations. Maybe he sends you a funny meme during a stressful day, cracks a light joke when he senses you're feeling down, or recalls an inside joke you once shared just to spark that familiar grin. These gestures may seem casual, but they're intentional, little threads of connection woven into everyday moments. It's not always about humor, either. Sometimes he'll make the effort by doing thoughtful things he knows you'll appreciate, whether that's bringing you your favorite snack, playing a song you love, or sharing something he found that reminded him of you. The goal is the same: to create a moment where your face lights up. Even in group settings, you might catch him glancing at you after making a comment, as if checking to see if you're smiling. If you are, it's almost like he relaxes a little, reassured that has made your day a bit brighter. If you're not, he might try again with something else, subtly adjusting until he gets the reaction he's hoping for. This effort to make you smile isn't about performance. It's about care. It shows he's paying attention to your moods, your humor, and your comfort. Is tuned in enough to notice when you need a lift and proactive enough to try and give you one. When a man consistently goes out of his way to bring you even small moments of joy, it's rarely by accident. It's his quiet way of saying, "You matter to me. Your happiness matters to me." And for someone trying to hide how he feels, that desire to see you smile often reveals the truth is not yet ready to speak aloud. 14. He remembers your favorite things. He remembers your favorite things, holding on to them as if they are small treasures that help him understand you better. When a man is falling for you, these details become more than casual facts. They're touch points he stores away, ready to use when he wants to make you feel seen and valued. It could be your favorite coffee order, the flowers you love most, the way you prefer your food prepared, or the movie you can watch over and over without getting bored. You might have mentioned these preferences only once, maybe in passing, but he keeps them in mind. Later, they show up in little surprises. He hands you your favorite drink without asking, chooses a restaurant that serves your go-to meal, or sends you a link to something he knows you've been wanting. These moments can feel effortless on his part, but they speak volumes about his attention and care. It's not about grand gestures or expensive gifts. It's about thoughtfulness. Remembering your favorite things means he's been paying attention even when you didn't realize it. If you once said you love rainy days, he might send you a message when it starts raining, just to say he thought of you. If you mentioned a favorite song, he might play it when you're together, creating a moment you both can enjoy. In group settings, this awareness often stands out. While others might make generic suggestions, he tailors his choices to what you like, sometimes without even making it obvious. For example, he might casually pick a spot with your preferred atmosphere or bring snacks he knows you enjoy, framing it as if it's for everyone, even though it's really for you. This kind of memory isn't accidental, it's intentional. It shows that he values not just who you are, but the little things that bring you comfort and happiness. Remembering your favorite things is his quiet way of saying, "I notice you. I care enough to keep these pieces of you with me." And for someone who's falling for you, those details aren't just preferences, they are part of what makes you special in his eyes. 15. He seems nervous or shy sometimes around you. He seems nervous or shy sometimes around you, even if he's usually confident with others. When a man is falling for you, your presence can bring out a mix of excitement and vulnerability that makes him more self-conscious than usual. It's not that he doesn't want to be around you. In fact, it's the opposite. He cares so much about how you see him that he becomes hyper-aware of his words, his actions, and even the way he looks. You might notice small signs of this nervousness. His voice could change slightly, maybe a bit softer, or he clears his throat more often. He might fidget with his hands, adjust his clothes, or touch the back of his neck when talking to you. Sometimes, he'll start a sentence and then quickly rephrase it, as if making sure he says the right thing. This shyness can also show in his eye contact. He may glance away quickly when your eyes meet, only to look back again a moment later. Or he might hold your gaze for a second too long, realizing it and looking away with a shy smile. These little hesitations aren't signs of disinterest. They're moments when his feelings are just a bit too close to the surface. Even his movements might give him away. He could stumble over words he'd normally say with ease, forget what he was about to mention, or laugh in a slightly awkward way when you respond. It's not clumsy in a bad sense. It's more endearing, the kind of behavior that happens when someone's emotions are genuine and hard to hide. In group settings, he may act differently toward you than toward others, perhaps quieter, more careful, or more eager to impress. This change in demeanor is often subconscious, driven by the desire to be at his best when you're around. When a man seems nervous or shy in your presence, it's usually because you matter to him more than he's willing to admit. That slight unease is his heart's way of saying, "I care about how you see me," even if his words never do. It's one of the most human, unfiltered signs that his feelings run deeper than his letting on.